I call to order the meeting of the mayor and council of the Borough of River Edge for March 11th, 2024, regular meeting, 7 p.m. I ask in a moment before we stand before the flag salute that we silently remember all those throughout the world who are suffering and alone, especially the aged and the elderly. Please turn, ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So, statement of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on January 11th, 2024, of this location, date and time into the town news and to the record, and by posting of the same on the municipal bulletin board and the borough website, following notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Here. Here.
Councilwoman Kinsella is absent with notice. Councilwoman Mallory.
Here.
Councilman Benson.
Here.
Councilman Glass is also absent with prior notice. Mayor Papaleo.
Here. All right, could I have a motion from Council President Monsanto Cohen, and a second from Councilwoman Kaufman, approval of the minutes of the mayor and council special meeting of February 5th, 2024.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, it is unanimous. Could I have a motion from Councilwoman Mallory and Councilman Benson to open to the public on any item on the agenda?
So.
Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any of you kids want to ask a question?
And if to Gerard, if you have a question for something on the agenda, please raise your hand.
Oh, okay. All right, seeing none, could I have a motion and second from the council president and the former council president?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have a presentation, which I skipped over accidentally, I'm sorry. James, it's good to see you. If you could, James, for the record, please state your name and role in the borough, and then please offer your presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is, I go by Jim, and I'm the health officer for Mid-Bergen Regional Health Commission, which conducts the public health inspections for the borough of River Edge. And our board of health, our River Edge citizens, and the president is Patty Courts. So my presentation today, thank you, Lizette, for putting me on the agenda, is the land use board. There's a in chapter 350, the site plan review, article 3, letter E. Do you guys have that pack, that
Yes.
information was sent?
We do.
There's a highlighted portion in there where it's calling for a food handler's license. And the food handler's license is causing confusion for the restaurants when they come in for their permits. And I'd like that language to be removed from that chapter in that article. I'm not sure how it entered in there. I'm sure there was some reason for it. I don't know why. And I would just like to keep the land use. Yes, of course, they could put whatever language they want if they require that license, but I would rather have that language removed, and anything pertaining to retail food establishments and license kept within the Board of Health code.
So James, the land use board very much likes this language. They very much want to keep it. What I could do is refer it with your comments to the land use board, and they can consider your request. And then it would come back to the council for consideration. So if you could come up with a memo explaining why you believe that this is a new practice that we should institute via ordinance change, and they can then comment on it they can also send questions to you and it can be reconsidered, but, it has been the tradition in River Edge that, that with, a change in ownership or request for, food handling, that it always goes to the land use board first.
Okay, so then let me make sure I understand. So I'm going to write a letter to the land use board to remove. I mean, I'm okay with everything on up until the part where it says food handler's license. And that's the part that causes confusion for the restaurant owners. And it also causes confusion in the health code too, because there is such a thing as a food handler's license, but there's also a thing called a food manager's license. And so really it's a language issue that I would like to address. And so again, I just need to make sure I know what I have to do.
So
A
you,
memo
you
will go
would,
to the land use board requesting why
you
we
would
would
send a
like
memo.
that.
Yeah, so let me clarify this, and Lizette and John, please feel free to chime in. You'd write a memo to the mayor and council requesting that the land use board consider the changes that you're suggesting, where those changes would occur in our ordinance and the justification for those changes, as well as any sort of enumeration of why this language is causing issues in your office.
Thank you.
Is that good?
Perfect.
All right, well, I'm glad you came. Is
Thank
there
you.
anything else?
No, I'm gonna stick around for a little bit, okay?
Oh, please do, please do.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right, here we go. We're back to the agenda. Appointment and personnel changes. Could I have a motion in a moment from Councilman Benson with a second from Councilwoman Malari? I just said your name wrong. I apologize. To approve the salary increase for Pedro Perez, laborer in the Department of Public Works for a probationary salary of step one, $45,905 to step two, $49,645 effective March 12th, 2024. Approve the $500 stipend for Scott Ader, road foreperson in the borough and Department of Public Works for attaining the ACRT certification per the contract effective March 12th, 2024. Approve the $500 stipend for Joel Gutierrez Alonso, tree trimmer in Department of Public Works for obtaining the ACRT certification per the contract effective March 12th, 2024. Approve the $500 stipend for Kenneth Morose, tree trimmer in the Department of Public Works for obtaining an ACRT certification per the contract effective March 12th, 2024. Approve the $500 stipend for Benjamin Mullen, laborer in the Department of Public Works for obtaining the ACRT certification per contract effective March 12th, 2024. Approve the $500 stipend for Eric Phillips, tree trimmer in the Department of Public Works for obtaining ACRT certification per the contract effective March 12th, 2024. Approve the $500 stipend for Eric Schultz, equipment operator in the Department of Public Works for obtaining the pesticide license per the contract effective March 12th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Before we go on, Ms. Apatola, could you please explain ACRT for the public's benefit?
ACRT certification, being able to do tree work, climb up to a certain extent for trees, so it's to maintain borough trees.
And also this protects us with liabilities and or workman compensation and disability claims, right?
Yes, that way we can't have somebody climbing the trees who's not ACRT certified.
Very good. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, we'll move on. We have monthly reports, Land Use Board, February 14th, Tax Collector, February 29th. We have resolutions 24-102 through 24-107. Is there a question before we move and second them? Hearing none, could I have a motion and second from any member of council to move 24-102 through 24-107?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Could I have the finance chair, Councilwoman Kaufman, move 24-108, and one member of the finance committee second it.
At a regular meeting of the mayor and council of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on March 11, 2024, be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current fund, $74,742.65. General capital fund, $160,472.97. Grant fund, $12,161.41. Animal control, $128.40. Trust other, $3,454.42. Developers escrow, $1,067.50. Self-insurance trust, $19,692. Recreation trust, $5,276.36. So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. We have nothing for discussion, but we have some new business. River Edge Swim Club Nixle request. It's Apotola.
Yes, the swim club requested that we issue a Nixle message stating that they're open for the season and that new members are welcome. That's what was posted last year. I went through the our Nixle account and see that only one message went out on June 30th. And the request is, can we use last year's information and have notices sent out March 12th, April 1st, May 1st, and May 15th? I cannot give that authorization. That has to come from the governing body like it did last year, whether to give permission for this messaging and as well as the frequency that they were asking.
So this would be something that we'd have to yearly approve. We did not do that at the Seni Die. I don't think we should do it at the Seni Die. We should reconsider the request on a yearly basis. And they should come to us and ask for it. We should discuss two questions. One, should we be doing this? And two, should we be doing it at this frequency? I open it to the floor.
How many times?
They want it 4 times, and last year we did it once. And the year before, we did it once, and before that, no, we didn't do it at all last year.
No.
The year before that. So it's not been a practice that we have been, it's not a past practice, as past practice would be defined. It was simply a practice we did once. Now we have to see whether we wish to do it again, and if so, how many times?
How does Nixle work? Do we have to pay for every time that the message goes out, or is the
No, we pay an annual fee for the membership, so, but each
unlimited messages or?
it's a certain amount. We never reach that limit though. And, you could decide to send it by email only or email and text.
Is Nixle used for similar types of messaging from other departments?
The only other type of, this would fall as a community message. We normally use Nixle for road closures, police mainly, or DPW, if there's an issue with garbage pickup or recycling. This would go out as a community message. And the only other community message that we put up is for the farmer's market.
So maybe we should clarify this for the public's benefit too. I think there are 2 or 3 types of Nixle messages.
There's 3 types. One is urgent. The other is a type of advisory, like the road closure, garbage pickup, or vegetation pickup, recycling pickup. And then this would go under as a community notification.
Now also, just for the public benefit and to double check, when you sign up for Nixles, you can sign up for all 3 levels or just 1 or 2 of the levels, correct?
As well as if you want email only, text only, or both.
Okay.
So, one other question,
Yeah.
if I may. So the message, I don't remember last year, was it just to announce when they opened? Or also about the membership and soliciting membership?
I looked up the message from last year. It was that River Edge Swim Club is open for the season. New members are always welcome to join. Email the business office, and it had the link to the email.
Would that be a solicitation issue? From the borough perspective?
Is the swim club private or is it part of the borough?
Private.
It's private but it's on borough property. There's a lease, but it's a
Okay.
private.
And we cover their insurance also.
It's a quasi group.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So there are other towns that we've represented that have similar operations, so. It is a close question in terms of what, you're expending, you're gonna expend. What I'm hearing the borough administrator say is that you're already gonna expend that amount of money, no matter what, for your normal borough uses. So it's not that there's gonna be an additional cost incurred by the borough for it. So it would essentially be like a convenience that you're allowing them to do it. So you can do it. The answer is, the question is, can you do it? Yes, you can. But that's the right question to ask. Is whether or not we're giving something to someone for a for-profit. Are they not, they're not for profit though, probably, right?
I believe they are.
They're probably, if they're not for profit status, it makes it's even safer.
So any more questions?
Just one more.
Yeah.
How often does the farmer's market send out messages?
I think it's just for weather emergencies, right? Rained out days and smoked out days. And maybe like there was one to announce the last one of the season. It wasn't every week, was it?
No, not last year.
Yeah.
It was just making a couple of announcements, and again, weather, and when we had that
Smoke.
bars like weather with the smoke.
But remember, the farmer's market is a borough,
There's a-
not,
function.
it's not semi-private or private. So I think, if I could maybe frame the question, I think that it's not unreasonable for us to announce it once. If the council was so inclined. But I think multiple announcements for a quasi-private organization. And we may also wish to consider the question that we do for the farmer's market, if there is some sort of closure that would not be weather related, because say the pool had to be cleaned out or something.
Mhm.
We could also at this point make a decision about whether we'd be willing to send a community nixle, but I think the Borough of River Edge should not, it's my feeling, Borough of River Edge should not be promoting a private or semi-private organization. We should be saying it's open. If people would like to go, that'd be great, but I mean, I don't want the pool to close, but I'm a little concerned about how this associates us with their function and their success.
I think once or twice is okay.
So is that a motion? And if so, can you frame it?
Okay, I would like to make a motion that we do 2 open season announcements for the River Edge Swim Club.
And what about an emergency?
And also any emergency or messages that are required due to closure being necessitated.
Is there a second?
Second.
It is now open for debate. How do we feel about this? Do we wish to amend?
Who prepares the messages? Who sends this out?
I would send it out, and then in my absence, Jason has access and the police department have access to the Nixle account.
They do send emails when there's a closure for need of cleaning the pool and all that. That is through emails directly to the members. So
Okay.
I don't think that the Nixle should be used for that particular reason, because they already have a mechanism to do that.
Okay.
Wait a
Even
minute.
for weather related, you get messages right away. The
Exactly.
under
Yeah,
notice, so it's like the pool will be closed, and then the weather opens up, the pool is open.
Could I have a motion to delete could I have a motion to amend to remove the language, emergency nixles?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
this is also open for debate, but I don't think we have a debate on this, right? All in favor of amending the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
We're now back to the main motion as amended. Okay, so the motion says that 1 to 2 nixles. But I think now I'd like to, the understanding would be that the language would be approved by Ms. Apatella. And if she needed for it to be needed to discuss it, it would either go to myself or the council president. That's what I always presume whenever an announcement goes out. Is everyone comfortable with that? All right, so is there further debate or discussion about this? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? Okay. Artificial mound, Memorial Southfield. Who is that?
Somebody from the Little League supposed to attend. Oh, gentleman here.
Please come forward. Could I have a motion to open for this topic only to
Tom Cook.
Mr. Cook?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Go ahead, Tom.
Excellent. We've made the request to remove the mound, which is currently on the south field at Memorial. So I think it's about 4 or 5 years ago, they changed South Field, so it's convertible from a 4660 to a 5070 field. So what that results in is 2 sets of bases, also 2 pitching mounds. The difficulty is with the pitching mounds and there being 2 rubbers 4 feet apart, we can't properly pitch the mound, as well as anytime we're using the 5070 distance on the field, the pitchers are landing in the stanchion of the 4660 rubber, and it becomes very unsafe. Historically, River Edge has had a limited number of teams participating at 5070. So through a lot of volunteer work and due diligence, we've been able to maintain it. We now have 3 teams in River Edge that are playing at the 5070 distance. So the repetitive moving back and forth creates a not only a safety concern, but also amending to Little League regulation concern. So our proposal is to remove the permanent mound, purchase an artificial mound that could be moved back and forth between the 2 distances.
Okay, and this has gone before the Little League Board,
Yes, I'm current sitting president of the Little League Board.
but I mean, they voted on it.
Yes,
And what was that vote? Unanimous or partial?
unanimous.
Okay, and when did that vote happen?
I'd have to look at my calendar. It was a month ago.
Okay, we need a letter from you,
Okay,
so that is part of the record if the council should approve this.
Okay.
Okay, does this affect, does anyone other than Little League use that field?
the recreation, the town rec, Little League program as well. So it's the town rec Little League program, as well as all of our travel programs that go through spring, summer and fall season.
And are they all under the auspice of your board?
Yes, they're all sanctioned through River Edge Little League.
So then your request is, you guys are the only ones who use that field?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay. So, so this would require Jason, the DPW to come and remove the current mound?
We are willing to do all of the work to remove the current mound and properly install the new artificial mound with the varying distances.
Okay, so this would fall under our insurance, correct?
Mhm.
And what precautions do we need to take in regards to the changing of the mounds?
I think to do it safely, they should do it, the Little League, as a former vice president of the Little League, I can speak on this. They should do it in conjunction with the DPW, make sure that the DPW is there when they remove the dirt and they, you know, and they smooth it out. And I assume this is gonna be one of those, like, it's like the tilted, like, it's like, it's got astroturf on it. like-
Yeah, there's various types of mounds.
Yeah.
We'll be
We have one,
purchasing a full-fledged 6-foot circle mound with the proper height. It's fiberglass foundation with the turf over the top of it.
Okay, and I guess there's a certain way to ensure that it is tight to the ground so it doesn't move while child is on it?
It has gripping surface underneath,
Yeah.
almost like little, think of it as like baseball
They're like
cleats or
balls, yeah, they're like
golf
balls.
cleats.
So we should talk to Ezio about this?
You know, when we have the official letter, just have Ezio look at it, and if he says it's okay, contingent upon council's approval, then I would ask Joe to coordinate between Tom and the DPW.
Is that good?
That is great. Yeah, we, I mean, there's various towns, I think Old Tappan actually does do this. There's more and more towns that are going in this direction, just based from a safety perspective as well as a cost and maintenance perspective.
Yeah, you understand that the reason I want our insurance agent to weigh in on this is because without it, we create a liability to the borough,
Absolutely.
okay? So could I have a motion and second so it can be a topic discussed? The motion that Mr. Cook has made, could I have a so moved in a second?
Second.
It is now open for debate. Does council have questions that they would like to pose?
If I may, this is just for my own edification. My kids were not sports kids, so I'm assuming the bigger field is for the kids who are older and need a bigger field to play on.
Yeah, so traditional Little League fields, I actually all the way through 12U, you can play on a 46-60 field. So that means pitcher's mound is 46 feet, bases are 60 feet apart. More and more, predominantly in our travel programs and area club programs and teams that we play, offer a 50-70, which is just 50 feet from home plate as the pitching mound, 70 feet are the base paths, and that is to transition the kids from the Little League size field to the full size field, which is 60 feet and 90 feet. So it's kind of a transitionary period. The rules change. It becomes a little bit more like baseball, and it is first offered at 11U.
Thank you. May I ask one more question?
Yeah, absolutely.
What happens with the mound? Do you take it with you after you've done playing, or do you leave it there?
No, we will leave it out there, and likely tarp it in between games or in between practices and usage, just to prolong the longevity of it.
Okay.
Is there an in-ground marker, like for where you put the front of it, like is like
Yeah.
where you set it up, right?
Yeah, we'll have kind of the similar things that we have to put when we remove the bases, to move them back. Just like a survey, a little flat,
Spike?
yeah, it's a spike in the ground with an indicator that basically says, you know, the back goes here, the front goes here, the left side goes here, and the right side goes there.
All right, so it's been moved and seconded. It's conditional upon two things. One that are what's SEO's official title?
Risk manager.
A risk manager approves it, and second, that when the work is actually done, someone from DPW is there to oversee it to make sure that we're following all the safety and leveling procedures that we need to follow to make sure that the borough doesn't create a liability.
Pending approval, would there be the opportunity to discuss with Jason and his team to potentially have them?
I think you should move ahead as if it's going to get approved.
Okay.
And just wait until our risk manager says it's okay, because I believe he probably will, but we still want to make sure that he has the opportunity to, because.
Okay. We're just kind of like from a timing perspective,
Yeah.
we need to get ordered and all of that kind of stuff.
And you'll let Jason know that this phone call's coming? Is it-
Yes, and it's to be coordinated through Joe. Joe would be the intermediate.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I can definitely coordinate through Joe. And then as it relates to the letter that is needed, I would send that. Who does that need
Just
to?
email it to me.
Okay.
I'll email it to the risk manager.
Great.
And I should get an answer the same day, if not maybe one day.
Okay.
Make sure that your title is on it and the result of the vote and the date of the vote.
Yep.
As well as if there's any, if you can scan or photocopy or whatever, the actual device that you're going to be installing.
Yeah, I'll put some screenshots or a link to the actual page of the company's website.
Sounds great. Is that satisfactory?
Excellent. Thank
All
you.
those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Hearing none, so approved.
Great. Thank you, guys.
All right, take care. Tom, have a good one.
Likewise.
All right, Riverdale softball plant sale.
Yes, this is the annual request for the softball plant sale at Company One. Jim Hookstrait took it over from Ken Crockheim, and it's to be known that Company One, Friday, March 29th and March 30th. in anticipation of waiting to obtain council approval, I did ask for them to complete the hold harmless agreement and provide insurance, and they did so. So it's now just a matter of the governing body to decide whether to grant authorization.
All right. Since this is a yearly thing, could I have a motion and second, then we can enter into debate and discussion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's now open for debate and discussion. Is there any questions, inquiry? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, that was great. Proposed amendment to Borough Chapter 400-21B turns.
Yes, our traffic division, our sergeant noted that there needs to be an addition and a modification to our borough code with regards to left-hand turns. And so he provided the information to amend the no left turn where Dunkin' Donuts has now been relocated, and to add a restriction from Atkerson Street onto northbound Kinder.
Okay, could I have a motion and second, then we can discuss it?
So moved.
Second.
It is now open for discussion. Is there an inquiry, discussion, or debate?
So it will be just in those corners? The ones you said?
Yes,
Okay.
Seemed reasonable to me, since it used to be Duncan and he just wanted the wording changed to 101 Midland, I think.
so I could just whip up a ordinance for next meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? All right, very good. All right, outside duty rate.
You have the memo that I had prepared, and as we're discussing the budget. And I have a couple of departments looking at their fee structure. This is actually proactive from our police department. And, in order to grant their request, I reviewed it with the CFO. The CFO recommended, increasing the rate with a range. The police chief is also in favor with the range. Neither one of them mentioned a separate car fee. Each municipality does it differently. So I provided results from a survey that Ms. Dodd had conducted at my request. So it's up to the governing body to discuss and provide direction.
Yeah, this wouldn't be something we'd approve because this would occur at the budget, correct?
No, well, the police request has no impact on the budget. It's solely, a user fee through the trust fund.
So this would be an ordinance change.
Yes.
Okay,
It was
and what
just
is your recommendation?
I recommend increasing the hourly fee for this year and then next year. And put possibly a $25 car fee, so that way the total price is comparable with New Milford.
And what was their request?
New Milford is $175 an hour, so we increase our fee from $135 to $145 this year with a $25 car fee, and then $150 next year with a $25 car fee.
Per hour, correct? The car fees per hour?
Yes, well, it's up to the governing body if you want a flat one or hourly.
And what do you recommend?
At the rate of the cost of cars and fixing them, I recommend hourly.
Finance Chair, Councilman Kaufman, what are your thoughts?
It makes sense to me. It's not going to impact the borough's spending since it's outside duty, which the utilities would be paying. And it should help us retain staff.
Council President?
Just one question. What is the car fee?
Well, because when the police do traffic detail, a police car has to be there and it's idling, and you're putting the idling time onto it.
Engine hours.
Understood.
So it just creates a trust fund to
Right.
replace.
Right. Yeah, I have no issues with this.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Is it competitive? Like, do towns compete to have their cars? Like, how do they decide a car is gonna be used in the police officers from River Edge?
That's a decision of the police chief. It would be not a newer car. Their cars move down the line, so it is an older car that's moved. Like, so you have your patrol, and then maybe offshoot it to the detective, and then traffic is at the very end of the line before the car is just done for good and auctioned.
maybe, let me rephrase the
I
question.
think you were asking, how does it get decided that we're gonna do the outside duty?
Yeah, because.
So PSNG would,
So, yeah, so what happens is whether it's a PSCNG, Veolia, or some type of, private contractor, they reach out to the police department and say, because of the work that they're doing, they need, traffic detail to be done. And then the police department would coordinate. If no one takes the job, if there's no officer available or willing to take the assignment, then it's opened up to other municipalities, and if adjoining municipalities don't have somebody, then the Bergen County Sheriff.
Yep.
So you do need, a uniformed officer to direct traffic.
Okay, but it's, okay, I get it. Thank you.
all right then. So you're recommending that we increase this year to hourly rate of $70 with a $25 hourly rate of $70 per hour for the police officer and a $25 rate for the vehicle per hour.
Well, the borough rate would be 145 and then 150 next year with a $25 an hour car fee. What would be paid to the police officers, $70 an hour, or their overtime rate, whichever is greater.
And that's what you're recommending.
Yes, it's similar to what other municipalities are doing.
Could I have one member of council move this by saying so moved?
So moved.
Could I have a second?
Second,
We are now open for official debate. Is there debate? Are we good? We good?
Absolutely. This is a very important morale piece for the police department. I just put my labor lawyer hat on for a second. This is going on in a lot of towns right now where they're raising these rates. because
really?
Yeah, because well, I'm the labor attorney in Milford right now, and it's that we just raised the rate there because the police department came to the mayor and council and said, look, we want to be competitive with the other municipalities, because this is a way that they make additional income when they're, off duty.
All right, any further debate or inquiry? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any old business?
I have one more new business.
All right,
Our DPW director, in speaking with our borough engineer, had requested if the governing body can consider authorizing the road resurfacing amount that's in the budget instead of, we have our budget meeting next Saturday, the 23rd, but to draw up the specs and get ahead of other municipalities and try to secure the best contractor possible, if the governing body would consider the recommendation of the road resurfacing for this year, that comes out to $797,222. That includes construction, engineering, and police.
I strongly recommend the council consider this. Could I have a motion if the council is wished to consider this?
So moved.
second.
Okay, it's open for debate, inquiry, comment.
May I ask, what is this, how does this compare to like last year? What was spent?
Well, we didn't pave roads last year because of the PSCNG gas main project. So-
Instead, we use that money for curbs and ADA.
Yeah.
In order to be able to go straight to the paving this year.
Okay,
How much will that cover? Become,
I,
like, in town, what roads?
that's in your budget book. It has the list. And also,
When I get it.
But let me just say, one of the things that we've done before I got on council 13 years ago, and we've maintained this as our practice, is we do not, as a political body, as political representatives of the people, we do not get involved in what streets are going to be
No.
paved or why. That is, we keep all the politics out of that. That's decided, if I'm not mistaken, by our DPW superintendent and our borough engineer.
yes, based on the condition of the roads, there are certain roads that are grantable, like Bogert and Continental, but the rest would be the borough's responsibility, and we're still waiting to schedule a meeting with PSCNG to see what roads they will pave because of the work they did last year.
So just one question. So that was actually my question. So we're talking about resurfacing streets that were not impacted by the PCNG work.
These are streets that were impacted, if I'm going off of memory, by PSCNG work, but these are older streets that were on the list anyway. Any streets that PSE&G had touched that were paved in less than 5 years, they have to completely pave it. Or if, like the gas lines aren't completely straight down the middle,
Mhm.
if replacing a gas line crosses from one side of the street to the other, then they have to do that curb to curb. Or if they don't do that, they could give us the money to do those streets, but that's still something that we haven't sat down with PSE&G with to discuss, but these are known streets that our DPW director, superintendent has identified that PSE&G had done, and enough time has passed for the restoration for the trench to settle.
Now, also, I've had many conversations with our DPW superintendent, Jason Alito, about this. And what he is going to be doing in regards to this program is he will say to them, okay, you say street A, B, C, and D were paved less than 5 years. So you guys have to pave that entire street,
Mhm.
okay? Or pay us to pave it.
Mhm.
But let's say streets E, F, G, and H were older than 5 years and they don't have to pay half of it. So what we might say to them is pave the whole street of E and F and we'll pave G and H. So that there is not a dry seam across the street, which causes road deterioration. So that's part of what's going on. He's going to negotiate with them with those partial streets and have them do all of it. And we would pay for we would do the full of those partial streets that would work out. So if there are 4 partial streets, we would say to them, do them as full streets and we'll take the 2 of them and the other 2 we would take. So we wouldn't be doing a replacement that has a limited life.
Yeah, you wouldn't have that seam and everything's done by one contractor, one performance bond, one maintenance bond, easier to keep track of.
So it's a more efficient and effective way of maintaining the town for residents. Any other questions or comment? All in favor, we've moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? All right. Anything else with new?
No.
Anything with old?
No.
Do we have any construction updates?
Not at this time.
Okay, good.
It's
Okay,
coming soon.
yes, I know.
Construction season's coming.
Could I have a motion and second to open to the public for any comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, come on up. Please state your full name and your address,
Yes.
unless you're a police officer, and then you only need to state your name. And I say that for the record.
Thank you. My name is Margaret Burns. I live at 236 Wales Avenue. I'm a 47-year resident of the town of River Edge.
Welcome, Margaret.
Thank you. I was wondering what the status is of the dispensary on Route 4 that is
Okay.
proposed.
So we give you 2 minutes to ask any questions or make any statements, then we
Okay.
will answer after you step away.
Okay, that's my question. And I would also like to state that if it were to be approved and go forward, what thoughts and provisions would you put into play so as not to have a third party that is looking to dispense come forward after you've approved that location and perhaps come into the community and want to use a store that's available, a vacant store on Kennecott Road to have another dispensary.
Okay, and anything else?
I would also say that in my own thoughts, if this should go forward and someone is to attempt to come into Kennecott, like say, put something right across the street from the post office, I would hope that you would not consider that very seriously before you decide to do anything. And I am terribly concerned that in conjunction with a cannabis dispensary, the next thing down the line is a tattoo parlor. And I don't think that River Edge is a community that deserves a tattoo parlor. I think we're better than that.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
All right, now I'll ask you to return to your seat.
Thank you.
Mr. Sheehan.
Thanks, Mayor. So, the first, issue, I guess the question was, what was the status of the dispensary? The status right now is that, the mayor and council has voted to, rezone, the area where the travel agency was. I forget.
Liberty Travel.
Liberty Travel was on Route 4. And that, I believe is now with the planning and, zoning board right now for their review.
And they approved it.
And they approved, okay, so then it's been approved. And they're, at this point, whoever wants to utilize that site, they need to apply through the state. They need to come to the mayor and council for a letter of support. That's the first thing that they would do. Assuming that the mayor and council reviews their application and is in,
Well, hold on a
It's-
second. It's on for a second reading at.
oh, sorry, I apologize. That's right. It's on. I forgot it hasn't gone through second reading. So if the ordinance passes at the second reading, once that's done, then that area would be considered zoned. And you would be permitted to have a retail cannabis establishment there.
And at this point, you could address that would be the only place. It cannot come to Kinderconnect, but go ahead.
Yeah, that was my next point, which is that, that's the only location in River Edge that any retailer, so there's only gonna be one spot really where a license could be utilized, because you have to apply to the state for the license, but you have to have a lease or you have to own the property where you wanna open your establishment. So they could never put one on Kinderconnect unless some future council decided that they wanted to rezone part of Kinderconnect. I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
No. So, so just to summarize. It is illegal right now to have any of this, 5 licenses or 6? 5 licenses. We've had an open public hearing on whether we should take just one license. License 5, which is a retail license, and make it available for only one use, a one store, okay? Which means somebody else can't come in and say, I want to be the second store. It's illegal. Can't happen by both state statute and borough ordinance based on state statute. If the second reading is approved at next meeting, then the opportunity, not a grant, the opportunity for a business that has a location to come to us and ask us to consider approving them. And we look at their background, their finances and everything else. If we thought that this might, again, the key word is might, be something, then they would get a letter of support and that would go to the state. And the state has a whole series of regulations, and then it would go to the land use board. And the land use board could vote it up or down. And then does it come back to us for another vote?
It does.
Comes back to us for another vote. And if that is approved, then they can go through, then they have to go to the police department, the fire department, the building department, and get everything done. Our chief of police has veto power there, okay? Or not veto power, he has to make absolute requirements. But there is but one license in River Edge if it passes next week. And once that license is used, there are no more. And they cannot sue us by constitutional amendment, the state regulations and statute of the state. So they can't force us to do it anywhere else. And we've created what's called an overlay zone. So it can only happen on the other side of Route 4. And it can't happen anywhere else. And only if they go through all those steps. And in the ordinance that we are currently considering, there are all sorts of ways where they can forfeit the license and we can force them out, shut them down.
Timeline,
There's absolutely, timelines is everything.
6 months before anything happens, really.
No,
Decide.
oh, you're talking about,
If it's all.
There's no way to
approved
say
and
Mary,
everything,
the state.
everything is in order.
Mr. Lagana said it would take 1 to 2 years. But it may take 9 months, but he said, don't quote me on it. May take 9 months, may take 7, could take 3 years. There's a lot of layers of protection and supervision.
And tattoo parlor. We
What
wanna,
about the other stores that are now vacant? Is there any
So,
move to?
We've kind of moved you out of it, but again, only one store, only in that area. If somebody has a license, they can, but there are no other stores that it could happen in. It's only in that area. So the store would have to be vacant, they'd have to come over. All right? Unless the council wants to.
Do we want to just address the tattoo parlor question?
Oh, yeah. We have a permitted use zoning law, which means only those things that we permit can occur in River Edge. We do not permit a tattoo bar. And so can't happen in River Edge ever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a much more robust way. Some towns have a non-permitted use. These things are not permitted, but the problem is then maybe somebody comes up with something that doesn't fit our non-permitted use. So we have, a long time ago, under great legal advice, like we're getting tonight, we adopted, well, not we, the council at that time adopted a permitted use zoning, and it doesn't fit under our permitted uses, is my understanding. Anyone else?
If you have a question, Gerard, just raise your hand. And I will speak. Doesn't look like it.
Okay, cool. Could I have motion and second to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any council comments? Okay. Yes,
Did you have that Rivas request for the website?
The reasons request for the website. You heard something?
River Edge Volunteer Ambulance Service.
That they wanted?
Oh, yes, okay, so you want, okay, yes, thank you for reminding me. I had, dinner with the head of the, president of the River Edge Volunteer Ambulance. And, I said, how could, the council support them? And he said that it would be nice if we were to try to, publicize, their service on our website. So I think they're having, was it an adoption day? I think they have a pet adoption day, and they have something else coming up.
Now, they're quasi-private too, right?
Yeah,
The ambulance corps,
Yeah, I believe so. Rivas, I
they're
think.
volunteer,
it's like the fire department.
yes.
They have
But-
the same status as fire department.
Yeah, but the fire department has the firematic side and the
But
club
they-
side.
But they receive low staff,
The ambulance does, right?
yes.
They wanted to have an open house.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be any objection, right?
I have the wrong agenda. Yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize if that was on the agenda, I
Please.
the wrong one.
It's not on the agenda.
No, it just said to bring it up.
Something to-
And you can also bring it under new business.
Okay,
So either one, you didn't bring it up in new business, so Lizette was making sure you brought it up under council comments.
okay.
Yeah, they wanted information about their 75th year anniversary and linking their website and the cat adoption event.
Well, I think I don't think we need a motion on this because they have essentially the same status of the fire department. So, we would grant them all the same privileges and benefits. If they're looking for a nixle, that would be something different, but we could do that too.
Were they hoping to put an alert on, is that what they wanted?
No, that wasn't actually mentioned, it was really more just for the open house,
On the board website,
on
right?
our website,
Yeah.
yeah, and a link to their website.
So why don't you make a motion that we also send out a nixle?
And for what, like, would they be having some emergency or something, or like?
No, to
A
advertise
community, nixle, okay.
someone.
Okay, so I move to allow the River Edge Volunteer Ambulance Service to use the Nixle to send out community messages.
Can I have a second?
Second.
It's open for debate. Is there debate? Hearing none, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? All right, anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. So Councilman, you need to go back to them and tell them that they have our full support and they should coordinate everything through our business administrator.
Thank you, man.
All right. Anything else? Okay, could I have we are not returning to perform any business or to make any motion. So what I'm gonna ask for in a minute is a closed session, resolution 24-109. And then when we adjourn, we are adjourning for the evening, and we will not be reopening till our next meeting, which is a special meeting on the 13th. Okay, which is a closed session. Could I have a motion from any member of council for resolution 24-109, resolution to go into closed session, exclude the public, attorney-client privilege, NJSA 10:4-12B7, Open Public Meeting Act procedures?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'd like to have a motion and a second to adjourn the public meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Good job.
night,
We are
everybody.
closed.